All right, so I got a full day of travel today. I have one bus, an overnight bus, and a third bus to get to my final destination. I'm gonna try to speed through Valle de Cocora, and then after that, wake up, travel a few hours down, and go to a thermal pool spot, kind of a spa day on Sunday. Then after that, Sunday evening, take a bus back to Medellin. So this weekend is just going to be nonstop moving, but I am going to be covering a lot of ground, a lot of footage, and just kind of do things that I missed the first time. The Bogota bus terminal is actually quite impressive in size. It's divided in 3 areas, north, south, and east. And then from there you get to choose what company that you want to ride with. I did not see many charging stations, so plan accordingly if you have many devices that you're traveling with. One thing that did surprise me is that they had showers at one end of the station, and they also have a sleeping area, as you can see here, which can be very useful if you're traveling long distance, since little things like that make a huge difference. Alright, so I finally got to my destination. It took me 16 hours to get here, including one overnight bus, which was pretty terrible. The guy behind me kept kicking my seat. The AC was turned up all the way and I didn't have a sweater. And it was just kind of just like winding roads, turn after turn. So I didn't really get to sleep much, but I'm here at least finally. 16 hours later, 9 o'clock. I'm gonna make my way over to Salento and then hopefully get to see some of the palm trees. This guy was actually at my Airbnb right outside my door.
Nos trasnochar es madrugar, el romance para la cama para otro día será, observando el panorama desde aquí desde Cocora, y con el Javier acompañado de un buen amigo.
At this point I had gone to Salento kind of late, so I had to hire a solo guide to speed run the trails with me. Normally people leave the town around 8 or 9 a.m. and if they're doing the long trail, it takes about 6 hours. I wanted to do the long trail, but I had gotten to the town at 10, so we ended up having to leave at 11. So keep that in mind if you're planning on visiting. Show up the day before or show up very early. And you can book on the spot. I don't think it's necessary to book ahead. It's probably cheaper if you book on the spot as well. In the process, we had to skip some of the viewpoints, but we still managed to get a lot of it covered. At the end of it, there's a hummingbird sanctuary, which was pretty neat. At that sanctuary, there's actually a couple ladies making hot chocolate and coffee and I think some small snacks. My guide actually had lunch for me, so we rested there for a little bit, ate lunch, but then we had to make our way back pretty quickly because the forest does get foggy right before sunset, and that fog can make it very difficult to see. It's easy to get lost in there, so it's advised to get back right before the fog starts kicking in. The trail is actually filled with a lot of bridges, and it does get muddy fairly easily since it rains frequently in the wintertime. We actually found a dog that looked kind of traumatized and looked like he had been there for a few days. It was slightly injured in his leg, so felt kind of bad about that, but it normally happens when the dogs follow other people that are kind of doing the trail, and then the dog kind of wanders off on their own and gets lost in there. My guide told me that we were about 4,500 meters above sea. I'm not sure if that's true, but I did feel the elevation, even though I have been staying at high elevation cities. After all that, we got back to the Jeep around 4:30 or 5, I believe, and managed to get back to Salento from there. I took a bus back, and I just asked the bus driver to stop right outside my Airbnb, which is on the way. I decided to treat myself with an Airbnb that had a view. I was only going to be here for one day, but I wanted to make it as comfortable since I knew I was going to do a 16-hour bus ride. Room's kind of messy, but it's nice. You get the gist. Simple.